Hello and welcome to Tier 0 Gaming. We are coming to you with our first FNM Modern Horizons 3 draft on the night of the pre-release. My name is Mike and I'll be joined today by Lewis, our current limited leader on our leaderboard. So hopefully you enjoy these drafts. Say hi, Lewis.
Hi, Lewis.
Yeah. So right now we have Aiden Gaskins, who drafted a Simic Eldrazi deck, versus Alex Gilmore on a Jeskai Energy deck. For those of you a little less familiar with Modern Horizons 3, these two archetypes seem to be pretty popular in this format. I would say that Teamer is a little more common than Simic for the Eldrazi deck, but both are very common. Lewis, any opinions?
It looks like both players kept 7, and no, I don't know. Simic is pretty strong by itself, so, but the Teamer colors are definitely the Eldrazi archetype. Looks like...
So, Alex off to just a pretty good start, drawing a card, getting some energy, getting down an energy payoff right away. I believe that card is if you spend or gain 4 energy in a turn, you can tap it to draw a card, if my memory serves correctly.
And whenever you would get an energy, get an extra energy.
Yes, thank you. So Aiden with no plays on the first 2 turns, but looks like he's got a counterspell of some sort rolled up to the front of his hand.
Tune the Aether.
Yeah. Aiden reaching for his mana before he even bothers reading what the card is. Sounds about right. We didn't do anything on 2, we just counter whatever the 3-drop is. In Limited, you just take the tempo by, and that's alright. Alex playing with the beautiful oil slick lands. I love those. They also show up very well on camera. Okay, we figured it out. Remember, everybody, this is most people's first time getting these cards in their hands. Lewis is awestruck with the action going on and has no words.
I was trying to figure out what the card was that Alex played that got countered.
Oh, sorry. This is the 3-mana 2/3 ATB make 2 energy. You can pay an energy and tap him to tap a thing.
I know Aiden just resolved an Eldrazi Repurposer, got a spawn token, and whenever it dies, we'll make another spawn token.
Eldrazi doing Eldrazi things. Okay, so that should make 4 energy thanks to the extra, which will give Alex...
Looks like 6.
Okay, that's right.
Is that... I thought... Okay, is that card only when you pay 4 energy then? That's fine.
Yeah, only when you pay or lose energy.
Okay,
4 energy.
Okay. Wait, how do you lose energy in this format?
Basically paying energy.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's see.
Whenever I draw my 6 cards each, I get a crazy 0/1 unless I'll draw it.
So what archetypes do you tend to like in this format, Lewis? While we've got a little bit of a lull here.
So the Eldrazi decks are typically, can be pretty strong with the ramp that they have. The Boros deck is the best aggressive deck in this format, I believe.
I would agree with that.
There is just the straight like red-green Eldrazi deck too, that can be like a little bit more aggressive. So like Eldrazi has a few different ways. Like the blue-green is more of a ramp big strategy. The red-green can be like an aggressive take with the best common in the set, the Chrysalis, being a top-end card. With
Sure.
the...
It's really the power of the uncommons that make the Eldrazi deck pop.
Right. The
Path to Annihilation, the Chrysalis being a common, this this 2/1 flyer that is just going to keep making scions whenever we cast a Serum Visionary or similar.
Right. Whenever we draw our second card
Yep.
each turn, correct.
So, Alex getting in some good damage in the air early, but Aiden going pretty wide on the board already. Alex with all his mana up, let's see what he wants to do. That is the 7/5 with reach. Yeah. And it also gets a chance to look at the top of the library to get more creatures into play, and if you don't like the card up there, you can surveil it to the graveyard, basically.
Yup.
So,
The card is one of the uncommons you were talking about, I believe.
I think the card might actually be a common. But
Oh, okay.
even if it is an uncommon, it's a large fella. I will say in one of my drafts I was able to put a Nantuku onto it, so then every time it triggered, I both got to make a copy of it and check the top of my yeah, it was quite good.
We were talking about archetypes a minute ago. I think the green-white counters matter. What's it called?
I'm not sure what word you're looking for here.
+1/+1 counter. The mechanic whenever something has
Modified?
equipped. Yeah, there we go. The
Okay.
green-white modified deck is actually pretty good in this format as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of powerful synergies here.
Cast a static prison. Yep. Just the battlefield. I'll get 3 energy, and I'll exile.
There we go. So the 7/5 down for 1 mana, and probably down for a while, being that we have 6 energy sitting in reserve.
Nice little Oblivion ring there for 1 mana.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't really attack. We're under a little bit too much pressure. There's 7 power on the other side of the table, so our not really worth racing 3 or 4 damage if we're eating 7 on the crackback.
Aiden's having a bunch of mana.
Yeah, whatever this is big.
And then I'm gonna play Runner of Truth.
Okay.
When I cast it, I create colors of that. I create 2 of these.
Yeah, so I believe this is the Eldrazi with cycling that you can get back from your graveyard, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what this one is?
No, that's the 7/5. When you cast it, mates 2 spawn tokens.
Oh, it's just a big fella.
It's the MDFC.
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Combat, I'll swing for 3.
Yeah, in for 3, we offer the trade with the flyer.
Swing 4/5 again.
Oh, okay. That's, yeah, we're just throwing away the Serum Visionary there. I don't know if we were just trying to press damage, but Alex could not wait to get that block in as soon as Aiden tapped the second creature. Yeah, I saw his hand move as soon as the second one turned sideways, like, oh, I get to eat something? Yes, please.
These landscapes are so good at fixing mana. The end of Aiden's turn, Alex is getting a basic island into play off of his landscape.
Yeah, his mana seems okay. Looks like he might need the second white source, but not sure. Excuse me there. It does look like we have several white cards in our hand, so. 2 mana gives us a gargoyle, so suddenly we get 3 energy coming off. We can spend energy to give lifelink, which suddenly starts maybe turning combat to where we can do something about it.
Okay.
I'm going to attack. Trigger. I'm going to pay
You're
3 energy to give it lifelink.
Yep, and then 3 energy to,
I will pay 3 energy to put a counter on it.
What, that's 5?
which means we've paid 4 energy this turn, so we'll also get to draw a card. So that was a nice swing for Alex there. Still a little bit behind, considering the size of the creatures on Aiden's side of the board there. But oh, is that the fixed Gilded Drake? Is that what that is?
I am not 100% sure.
I'm also not sure, but looks like we're about to find out.
Cast a volatile storm drake.
Okay. Which
It sure
Yes.
is. So thank you, Aiden, for bringing out this giant Eldrazi. I would like that now. So yeah, so we're gonna gain 5 energy on the ETB, and then we're just gonna pay. Will we pay all 7? Probably, yeah. Right? We have 9 sitting there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like
All the way
I
up.
think we pay the energy here.
So either way, you're getting value out of it regardless.
Yes, it's either a removal spell or
Yeah, we can either basically kill the Eldrazi but give away a flyer, or we can keep it but it costs us most of our energy reserves. Considering we've already drawn a card off the thing, if we weren't under so much pressure from the Eldrazi, it would have been nice to save that Drake for next turn. But I think we're correct in just getting it cast this turn.
It's a 2-mana removal spell.
Yeah, 2-mana removal spell. But again, it's more like a weird Pognify, right? Because we're giving them the 3/2 flyer at this point. We did get to pick up a pile of energy off it, though.
We do have the 2/2 flyer. Wait, no, is that a 2/2
Yes,
or a 1/1?
it's a 2/2 flyer.
Yeah,
the
the
gargoyle.
2/2 back on defense
Yes.
too. So
Yeah, we can trade with either flyer if Aiden wants to get in for wants to attack with everything. We got the lifelink trigger once. I think if we're not dying to the attack, I think we want to keep the gargoyle around because we can give lifelink to our big dumb cat thing there. What is it? A cat dragon something?
It's a
I don't know what that
dragon.
is. Magic and their creature types nowadays.
I
think it's a dragon.
Breaker of Creation, gain a pile of life.
3 actually now because you got rid of.
it's a lot more than that. Your lands are colorless.
Yeah, so
What? Lands are colorless, bro.
good move by Alex here. Opponent, yeah, here we go. Aiden thought that he was only going to gain 3 life off of this card. This is pre-release weekend again. A lot of people's first shot seeing these cards. Did not realize that his lands are colorless permanents, and he will gain a pile of life and not just 3. Or 2, I should say. The breaker not being in play, it is a cast trigger.
correct.
So yeah, predictably Aiden attacking with the 3/3 because it's a free attack. Alex choosing not to jump block. The lifelink being much more important, I think.
Not only did Aiden gain a bunch of life, but he also has an 8/4 with Annihilator 1.
True. It's a very large fella. But we get to play this same little combo here again, where we pay a bunch of energy, get a +1/+1 counter, get some lifelink, and get to draw a card. Okay. So Aiden jumping on the chance to double block and see if he can trade for this large creature here, leaving him with the biggest thing in play by a lot, and the only relevant creature, really.
I'm going to cast a
Yeah.
Razor Grass ambush on this guy and deal damage to them.
Yeah, Alex having none of that and killing off one of the blockers. So,
3 damage there to an attacking or blocking creature.
yeah. And what do you think of the modal dual-faced lands in this set?
I think they are awesome. I think they are probably within your picked, like, top 3, top 5 for sure. Picked, having the ability to play more spells and fits your mana. That's just awesome.
So, when you're drafting this set, do you tend towards 17 lands in general, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're drafting this set, if you have 3 or 4 of these modal dual-faced lands, do you fully commit and cut 3 or 4 of your lands? Or do you tend to think of them like half and half?
So,
Where, like, if you have 3 of them, you maybe cut 1 land or cut 2 lands and just trim?
I tend to think of them as, like, for the most part, half a mana source.
Okay. So for every 2 of them you have, you're willing to trim a land?
Right. It depends, though, on
Sure.
on
Your
the
mana
total
curve and everything like that, yeah.
But yeah, that's typically the way, at least the way I've been doing it, and when watching other,
Established drafters.
yeah, that
Sure. Your Paul Cheons of the world, your Kenjis.
LSV.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know when I tend to have the most of these modal dual lands, I also tend to be in very aggressive decks. So I tend to wind up a little small on the natural land count in favor of having these spell lands, because I don't ever really want more than the third or fourth land in play.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If so, basically you're playing like
Maybe 14
17 lands,
Yeah, exactly.
but like 27 spells.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
but we have the backup of I can have one of these dual-faced cards.
Or I guess 26 spells.
Sure.
That's how math works. But
So Aiden with another one of those energy counter spells, hitting a good one here. That's the commander card, I believe, comes into play and also gives all of your creatures fabricate, if I remember right.
that is correct. Yep.
Yeah. So, very powerful card in limited.
Trying to see. Looks like maybe
Yeah.
we got an O12 in play.
Really? We went O12 on this?
I'm not sure,
Okay. All right.
but it could very well be an O12.
Fair enough.
Likely he chose 3/3 flyer.
Yeah,
but,
that's my assumption.
You know, it's just funny to think. It could be an
Unfortunately,
O12.
Alex just realized, that hit the 8/4 has hexproof from colored spells, so he went to shoot it for 3 as an attacking creature, had to jump to try to stay alive, couldn't shoot it to finish it off, and just conceded the game from there. So we go on to game 2. We'll see if either player wound up mulliganing. It looks like they're drawing their first hands.
Oh, shit. I pressed the button, but I don't know. Hexproof from colored spells is kind of a beating on that card.
Yeah, a little bit. It's good insofar as you can still block it pretty freely. There's no protection per se, so like you're still getting to block it. It only has 4 toughness, so it's certainly a creature that you can trade with without too much issue. The problem is if you're trading with it, it means that it got into combat and the Annihilator trigger happened. It already gained a pile of life. So if you're trading off one of your cards for their card, but it also gets to eat a land, an excess land, or maybe an Eldrazi spawn token, something you have sitting around, still makes it a pretty powerful play.
It's true. And there's only like a handful of cards that actually remove it straight up on their own.
Yeah, they're as high power level of a format this is, there are not a tremendous amount of 4 power or higher creatures naturally, though this format does have a lot of ways to enhance creatures, whether it be counters or just lord effects, as it were.
Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head yet. So that
The
are
biggest
more
one
than
that comes to
4,
mind
so-
for me is the green Oozewag that gives your modified creatures trample. Comes in as a 4/4 and adapts to be a 6/6.
Right. I guess, unless you want to say the Chrysalis there being
Sure,
4/5 for
absolutely.
4 mana there.
I would definitely say that guy counts.
Yeah.
So Aiden trying to jump the curve here. We did go turn 2. We played this 0/4, which gives us some more mana. So yeah, we're just going to jump straight to a 4-drop here, which is a good use of our mana.
Choose 2/5.
I would assume we're making a 3/3 flyer, though I am not completely clear. Okay.
There's the Fabricator guy again.
So yeah, so we have the Fabricate commander card. We timed it well. Aiden is tapped out. We know he has multiple pieces of counter magic in his deck. So being able to get that down while the opponent is tapped down is a big deal for Alex. This card can really take over the game with the tap 2 and activate it to proliferate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
assuming this thing is a 3/3 flyer, we have a free attack here.
And giving every other creature fabricate
Right.
on top of the activated ability is kind of insane.
Yeah.
You're right. It was a 3/3 flyer.
It's-
I was hoping for a 2/5 vigilance.
No, you weren't.
Okay. You're right. I still wanted it to be an O12.
I have cast it as an O12. That has happened. I had a 9/9 Felia staring at me, and we needed to do something about that. That lasted more than 10 seconds. So,
It's 3 energy and
0/12s.
it blocked for a
Kinda
couple
blocked
turns.
for
Yeah,
a little bit,
it was
yeah.
good. Did its job. So here we go. So we fabricate because of our commander card. I apologize, I don't remember the name of this creature. Might be able to figure it out. But anyway, we fabricate on ETB with our dragon. Kaith.
There we go.
Kaith, Famed Mechanist. So we fabricate onto our dragon. It enters play, gives us energy, gets a +1/+1 counter thanks to the fabricate, and in the future we will have the ability to both proliferate the +1/+1 counters on Kaith and the dragon, while also keeping up with our energy. So we have nigh infinite tap abilities if we need to. So if any of those big Eldrazi come down from Aiden's side, we should be able to keep them in check for a while. With the exception, obviously, of the Breaker, who has Hexproof.
And also gains a ton of life when it comes.
Yes.
The
If we're
cast trigger,
proliferating
but-
our dragon every turn, we can, get in large chunks of damage, but that'll be a minute. And in the meantime, Aiden can be cracking back. He does have 5 power of flyers himself. So we'll see how this game plays out. Both decks seemingly doing what they want to be doing. Alex with a bunch of energy and some payoffs, and the Eldrazi deck with a bunch of mana and some colorless creatures.
He's got 2 spawn tokens.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so right now a 5/4 creature with flying. So Aiden going for the double block here. I think this is exactly what Alex was hoping for. Yeah, we get to blow out the block with a trick, eat the creature that's left over, and now we're in kind of a commanding position from Alex's seat. This is kind of exactly what we wanted to happen here, right?
Well, depends on who you want to win, right?
I'm just speaking from the player whose turn it was.
That's fair. From Alex's perspective, that is exactly what he wanted to happen. He wanted that double block to be snapped up, and then that way the deal 3 damage to blocking creature could come into play.
Yeah.
And Aiden's just left with an 0/4 that taps for mana and just a bunch of nothing with a couple of spawn tokens.
So the spawn tokens will keep the ground cluttered up so that Kaith isn't able to really get in. It will be proliferating on the end step, most likely. So making sure that it doesn't grow, get out of hand, and be able to get in is nice that the spawns stop it. But I guess we're tapping all our mana here.
We're about to gain 5 life? No, we're playing the 7/5 again.
Yeah. So, yeah, this being, as Lewis mentioned earlier,
What is that?
the modal dual-faced Eldrazi, I believe the blue-green one.
Okay, then he should have 2 spawn tokens, right?
So it costs 7, right? So he paid 1, 2,
6,
3, 4,
7.
5, and chose to sacrifice his 2 spawn
Yeah.
rather than tap his 0/4.
But there's a cast trigger. He should have 2 spawns.
Does it make 2?
Yeah.
Okay, he put 1 into play on the cast, so not sure if both players just missed that or not. Yep. So Alex just continuing to go in on this very large flying creature. Yeah, we're trying to close out this game very, very quickly. We have the Luxodon, I believe, that can tap down any flying blocker next turn. And we're sitting at 3, 7, proliferate end step is 8. We are sitting at lethal from Alex's side if Aiden can't do something about it. That's something...
Destroy target
Yeah.
creature with flying. Yep.
Yep. Well, everything I just said out the window.
Aiden comes in with the perfect removal spell as Mike was giving his spiel.
It be that way sometimes.
And as you correctly predicted, at the end of Aiden's turn after he cast the modal
That's a whale.
dual face card, Alex did proliferate at the end of the last turn.
Time counter negative my upkeep. I was doing time counter from it, and it was a real more.
The 3 mana 7/5 here.
Do you think Alex will proliferate the time counter on the whale?
I believe he will choose not to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
However, he doesn't have a choice if he casts 2 spells in a turn.
That's true.
Because Aiden would get to choose at that point.
Sure. So how big is our Caith at the moment? We have 3 +1/+1 counters.
Say
It is a
5/8.
base 3/3.
Oh, I thought it was a base 2. Okay, it's a base 3.
So we're sitting on a
6/6.
6/6 at the moment, which is
JC's ever
not really what we need right now, huh? Just gets chumped by a spawn.
Aiden by a 7/5.
Well, trade with.
That's true.
So Alex draws for turn. And what are we looking at, Alex? That's a lot of mana.
Maybe another flyer here.
That's
Kind
less
of.
mana.
What Alex needs to get out of this is another flyer go over the top.
Yeah, well, yeah. My brain refuses to accept that the whale that is a cloud doesn't have flying.
Alright.
But it's a well.
Yes, but it's a cloud? I don't know, man. Magic does silly things, and I always think that whale has flying, and then I have to look at it again and realize that I'm silly.
That's fair.
Because it's a whale, after all.
It is in fact a whale. I don't know how many flying whales you've seen in your life, but I have seen 0.
I watched Shamu as a kid.
You could have said Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's also I guess it was more of a falling whale, but you know,
It's true.
if you looked up and
All
saw
right.
a whale, you would think it was flying.
So what do we see in Alex's hand over here? That looks like...
He's got another one of the O-rings for 1 mana.
I think that last card might be the suppression field. And if it is, we are going to look to close out this game next turn, maybe. So the suppression field, if you're not aware, is the 5-mana modal dual-faced card in Azorius. Target player taps all their creatures, and then you may pay energy for any number of the creatures that are tapped to put a stun counter on it. Notably, stun counters with Caith, she can just proliferate them indefinitely.
That's true and hilarious at the same
But
time.
more importantly, well, it looks like we went for an attack, Gilmore being a little more aggressive than I thought he would be. We just went for this big attack here, but I guess that makes it even easier to close out this game. That is a lot of life we're gaining here.
You're gaining
6, 7?
8, 9, 7?
7.
7.
7 is a lot of life to gain. We are no longer winning the game this turn from Alex's side.
7, 8, 9? No, there's no counters on the 2, 3. Right?
Correct, and we
Okay.
can't proliferate and attack. We don't have that ability. It's a tap ability to proliferate. So, we got aggressive here and got in for 6, which looked like it was going to be close to closing out the game, but this breaker is really buying us some time from Aiden's side.
Well, with no attack also on Aiden's side.
At 10 life, I'm not sure he can afford to attack, right? Because anything that... We have the Luxodon that can tap down. I guess that doesn't matter. Maybe we should have attacked if if Alex was going to let us go to combat, because if Alex wants to tap that creature, it's the only target anyway. We can't tap the breaker. There's the suppression wave. Yeah, and notably, this targeting Aiden and not the creature itself. So the hexproof from colored spells does nothing to stop this.
If Alex wanted to, would he be able to also put a stun counter on the one that on the 04 that's already tapped?
He
or?
could. I
Okay.
believe what he's thinking here is he's paying 2 mana kind of ahead of schedule. Yeah. He wants to proliferate, and he wanted to make sure he still had an energy left over so that he proliferated. Otherwise, the whale comes back from under the stasis,
Right.
under the whatever the 1 mana white card is. So I think we wanted to make sure that we had some energy left over.
Fair enough.
And we have 2 stun counters, now down to 1 going through the untap step on each of the large creatures from Aiden's side. So, we didn't get to get in for lethal thanks to the breaker gaining us 7 life. But,
Those creatures will probably never untap.
yeah, so long as Alex is willing to proliferate on his own turn, the stun counters will never run out. And if he has a second way of proliferating so he can actually use his Kaith in combat. At this point, the Kaith being the size of an Eldrazi, where we have a 7/7 of our own over here. So we still have a removal spell, and that looks like Invert Polarity as the draw for turn from Alex. So maybe we'll flip a coin on an Eldrazi. Alternatively, it might be a Cyclops. I didn't quite get a great look at it.
Knowing Alex, it's probably the invert polarity, but I could be wrong.
Well, that one's a Cyclops.
That is definitely a Cyclops.
But we have another red-blue looking gold card over there, so...
Power to any target is plus.
Aiden still
Just-
can't wait to counter spell.
Yeah, but this won't even counter it, right? Because you have to pay energy, so we just pay the 2.
Like energy.
Yeah.
ETB.
Yeah, the Cyclops enters, we make a bunch of energy, fabricate from the Kaith, proliferate everything. Now, if, the stun counters go up, the energy goes up, the Kaith gets bigger, the Cyclops gets bigger, and the Cyclops' triggered ability that shoots any target when it dies. Like, that Cyclops is looking at a 4/4 and only going to get bigger as Alex gets to keep playing and keep proliferating. So it won't take much before we're just attacking with the Cyclops, and you have to block, but you can't kill it.
Right, because the 3 energy can just basically dome your face when it dies. So.
Yeah, that's a scary spot to be. It does look like it's a second Cyclops in Alex's hand, so not an invert polarity, unfortunately.
So second Cyclops and a removal spell.
Yeah, the
looks
3
like.
damage modal dual-faced land again.
Yep. Aiden's got 1 card in hand. And 5 mana available,
Yeah.
but does not have any good blots on that Cyclops.
No, we do have some Scions that we can just kind of chump with.
And I guess the 04 can
Yeah, the
Chump it
04
for-
not
or,
really doing
well-
much at this point.
might not be able to chump for very long, but
True.
04 can go in front of it.
Moved combats.
Yeah. So I think Alex just trying to find a way to close out this game. With the Kaith has gone uncontested for a long enough time that we have generated so many resources off of it. Card's definitely impressive in this game.
Well, you have a
Yeah.
made for commander card legal in a limited format. It's going to be either powerful or absolutely garbage.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. This one just so happens to be on the powerful end of that.
It does. It does. I imagine maybe not as good against some of the faster decks in the format, but against something that's trying to play a long game like the Simic Eldrazi deck, It just gives the ability to go just as late while sizing our the Jeskai creatures to be able to contend with the Eldrazi late game.
Also, just giving everything Fabricate, you can just you can go super wide.
Yeah,
if you want.
that's true.
And just make a bunch of little servos.
It's true. Certainly works not as well with the proliferate ability.
It's true.
So I think trying to maximize the card makes some amount of sense to me. But yeah, we're definitely getting to a point where Alex is going to be right-click attack all for in the next turn or two, I think.
8 energy. Okay, I was wondering if he was going to tap anything down at the end of the turn, but I guess he chose not to.
Yeah. I guess no matter what we tap, there are still plenty of chump blockers, so might as well just be attacking with the Cyclopses.
That's fair, yeah.
The Cyclopses are basically both acting as abysses at the moment. So, just Aiden has to block both of them every turn. Yeah, so we tap the 0-4, which forces... Yeah. Aiden's off it. He sees the writing on the wall. This game did drag out quite a bit.
So we decided to just main phase the top there.
Yeah. I'm not really clear...
Maybe... No,
if
wouldn't make
Aiden
sense.
maybe could have conceded earlier. That game lasted for quite a while, or right around 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes. So... Well, I guess not the game, but the 2 games thus far have lasted for over 30 minutes. So we're going into Game 3 with not very much time. Maybe Aiden was hoping to be able to run the clock down on Game 2 to not allow a Game 3, could be.
It's possible, or maybe Aiden was just trying to play to his outs.
Yeah, maybe he's got something that we don't know about.
Draw another... actually, I want to say, I could be wrong, I think he has 2 of those 8 mana... 8/4s with Annihilator one.
Okay.
To gain a bunch of life.
Gain a bunch of life again, just put the game out of reach.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Again, those Cyclopses were to the point where
It's true.
they were a very fast clock, even through a second breaker. But
Well, it's like Alex mulled at least one time, I think.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, looks like you're correct. Yeah, so this is another one of the energy payoffs in the deck. Landfall, you get an energy, and then the ability to pay 6 energy, which is a lot, notably, but to draw 3 cards all at once. If you have a stockpile of energy, this seems like one of the best ways to spend it.
This is one of, as far as the blue spells go, one of the best energy payoffs in blue.
Yeah. I am inclined to agree. Like, 6 is a lot, but we saw last game Alex sitting there with 9, 10, 11 energy, just not really doing anything with it and wishing for something to do. Draw 3 cards sounds like a pretty good thing to do.
You, of all people, know I love nothing more than drawing cards.
Draw a card. Best 3 words in Magic.
This 1/3, it's a little slow, so you don't really want to play it in decks that aren't energy synergistic.
Sure.
But in an energy deck where you're getting energy from other cards, the way Alex is doing,
Yeah.
it is the best 2-drop you could probably cast.
Yeah.
So
So, notably, Aiden just doing nothing in the first couple turns, but playing a reasonably powerful 4-mana 3/3 flyer into 5-mana 7/5 reach. So Alex is not going to have any good attacks here, and into a very good removal spell too. So we get to clear the cave before anything gets out of hand. We get to gain some life, and now we have a commanding presence on this board.
why did they put life gain on that fight spell? Like, that makes no sense to me whatsoever. I don't understand. Yeah, you have to have an Eldrazi in play, but it's an Eldrazi format.
Sure.
Just doesn't. 1 mana, fight your creature, gain 3 life.
Yeah.
So good in this format.
Is it even a fight or is it a punch?
It's a punch. My apologies.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
So our creature isn't even taking damage at that point.
Correct.
So 1 mana, my thing beats up your thing. And then if there's an Eldrazi in play, which, let's be honest, a lot of the good green cards are Eldrazi. Like, even if you're not a dedicated Eldrazi deck, you just kind of have one of them laying around.
It's true.
You just gain 3 life.
Yep.
So yes.
Yeah, it's...
Alex taking a huge hit there. 10 to the face. So this is going to be a tough one to try to come back from, it looks like. We are up to 6 energy. So we do have an Ancestral Recall in reserve. And we are casting a lot of spells this turn.
Let's do amulets.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we tapped 2 for our 3-drop and 3 for our 2. We just tapped our mana out of sequence. Our intentions were very clear as to what we were trying to do this turn.
And the 1/3 can be activated at instant speed to
Yes.
draw 3 cards if Alex so chooses.
Yeah, all told, we can really go plus 4 cards this turn, with the Amulet being able to pick up the top card as well.
It's true, because he has 8 total mana. Or
8 total energy, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that said, none of that does anything against the 10 power that's going to be attacking.
That is absolutely
So,
true.
We just played the Luxodon, so we can't tap anything down just yet. And because of that, it feels like we probably need to make sure that guy survives to be able to tap down this 7/5.
I would agree. We may throw, like, depending on attacks, throw the Cyclops in front of something.
We are going to be spending most of our energy here. It might be worth it to block with the 1/3.
It's fair.
You know, get our Ancestral Recall and get our Chump Block and just call it good. Be like, this is my 2-drop. It has done enough.
It's true. Again, a powerful 2-drop it is.
Yeah, but not very good at stabilizing a board. So, Aiden notably also having drawn 3 on the previous turn with the I don't recall the name of the card, but the Devoid draw 3 and then make an Eldrazi.
I can't recall the name of that card off the top of my head either. That is one card at the beginning of the format I thought was going to be super great. It's not bad. Like, I can't see playing more than one of them, though, because it doesn't really impact the board. It makes you a 0/1. It does draw 3 cards, but it is 5 mana.
It is also an instant, notably.
It's true.
It fits into the Dimir deck pretty well, as it's a single card that pays off all of your draw 3 synergies. So there's certainly a home for that card.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's like very good, but like when you get into the matchups against something like a Boros deck, you're very sad that you have that card in your deck. You just don't have time to get that card off.
It's true. Now, Deem Unfathomable, I think, is the name of that card. The tuck second from the top.
Or on the bottom.
Or on the bottom.
I believe Alex here thought that it was second from the bottom, so I doubt that that's going to become relevant, but we did technically put the card in the wrong place in our deck.
Just got cast there on the 1/3, and in response, Alex did draw the 3 cards, so no longer has it there to be able to jump and draw 3 like we had initially speculated.
So
that
yeah,
would do.
the Cyclops
So now
is
it's-
kind of forced to bite the dust here. Paying 3 energy. Yeah, sure, just clean up something off the board. We can't really afford to have as many creatures in play as there are already. So if we can kill something, we just need to kill something.
Takes out the Serum Visionary on its way out.
Yeah, does deny us an extra card off the Amulet. We have spent the energy on the Cyclops, so we don't have the energy left over for the Amulet.
1 energy remaining.
Which does mean we have the energy to tap down the 7/5, notably. So at this point, the biggest concern from Alex's side is actually the 3/3 flyer.
Yep.
Okay, more energy coming through here. We drew a lot of cards. It does not look like we have a land drop for turn. So we did draw 3 extra cards, but it does look like we're going to miss the land drop anyway.
Hopefully, it works out for Alex. I think he may actually have the 3 damage to an attacking creature. Maybe not, since he's tapping his white mana. Disregard. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
And what's it gonna do?
That's interesting. Aiden asking what the card does, not waiting for the answer to finish, and immediately counterspelling anyway. This was just a good way for Alex to wind up with an extra body in play. Honestly, that's really what he needs here. We have the Luxodon that can tap down the 7/5. We're going to be taking 3 from this flyer here, so honestly, if Aiden has any way of pumping it, the game is over.
You tap down the flyer, I think, and if he attacks with a 7/5, you block with the...
You just
Wait,
double block it?
Is it a 2/2?
Yeah, the Cyclops is a 2/2 base, so
Okay,
like,
so
you would
yeah,
have
you-
to double block if you want to trade off with the 7/5.
Got you, okay.
I'm not sure that it's worth our whole board to do that.
3 power.
No, it has prowess, so sometimes it has 3 power.
Got you. That's my understanding there. So yeah, maybe you do just tap the...
I think we
I
go to
don't know,
1
I think
here.
tapping the flyer makes more sense to me, I think.
I feel like going to 1 is the same as 4 in against Simic specifically.
That's
it's not
fair.
like they're gonna burn us out. So okay, well that's just bad for Alex and good for Aiden. A second
Say what?
flyer here, right?
No. Oh no, the 7 was just. Yeah.
I'm not crazy, right? That's the same art. That's got to be the same card.
I'm gonna make this another 3/3 flyer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You are correct.
Combat. Yep.
Yeah. Beginning of combat. Slow down, Aiden. You are not going to get to attack with both of those creatures. So seeing the second flyer, does that change what Alex kind of has to tap here? Are we kind of on forced chump?
Alright.
All right. Yep.
Tap
It
the
looks like
flyer.
Alex agrees with you. We're going to tap the flyer. That does mean we have to chump here. Yeah.
Just a chomp, nothing else.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth spending a bunch of our energy and both of our creatures to get the trade there. We still have 2 flyers to contend with. I think if we can manage to get a prowess trigger, then at least the Cyclops can trade with the 3/3 on the way out, potentially. But
At some point we may have missed it, but there is the blue and 2 Kozilek's enchantment, I think, in play. So when
that explains why we were getting Scions.
we made
when
2
yeah,
spawn
okay.
tokens off of the 3/3 flyer.
That's a good catch. That glare is not great.
But
Okay.
I do believe that is where those spawn tokens came from, if anybody was confused by that.
That makes sense. I was confused by that. Thanks, Lewis.
You're very welcome. So the O-ring for energy is in play.
Yeah, so we took care of
will
one of
still
the
never remember
flyers,
the name of that card.
which is great. Okay, Tune is good. I think... So that card is an instant.
Okay.
Tune is an instant, and I think if I were Alex, I would have I think that card's an instant.
The tune, yes, it is
Yeah.
an instant.
So I think if I were Alex, I think we actually missed a beat here. We're in turns, so I think players are just trying to figure out how to finish out this game. Yeah, I don't think Alex is going to be able to close this game out. I think his best bet is to try to play for a draw, and I think holding onto that tune, leaving it under the amulet, gives him the prowess trigger here, which would allow him to tap down the flyer, block the 7/5 with the Cyclops, cast the tune, gain some energy, trigger the prowess, and then he can throw the Cyclops' trigger at the flyer.
Or at the flyer.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he just has to worry about the board. I feel like most of Alex's deck is going to be able to chump block the 7/5, even if he's not tapping it down.
Correct.
So it's the flyers that he's actually worried about closing out the game.
I am inclined to agree with you.
So I think Alex might have missed a beat to be able to clear out that flyer. We'll see if it winds up mattering.
if they're already in turns and Aiden's at 18 life.
Yeah,
currently
I don't really
know
like.
if it would matter.
I don't really like Alex attacking here. I don't think he has a way to close out this game from 18 on Aiden's side.
Actually, I believe this. Maybe.
I believe Aiden was in his turn when time was called, if I'm correct. I believe they have a dice off screen just below the camera.
Got you.
I've seen both players reach over there. So
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly which
That-
turn we are in.
yeah, I believe we're on turn either 2 or 3. Yeah, so that play from Aiden, we are now forced to tap the 7-5 as it is a lethal threat by itself. This is kind of where what I was saying about the...
Okay.
Okay.
Doggone, bro.
All right. Well, we had a way to just clear the flyer anyway, so maybe my play with the Cyclops was just irrelevant because Alex already had a plan in mind. And that makes sense. Alex is a very accomplished limited player. He's quite strong in his draft.
He is definitely one of the people I don't like facing, so I tend to agree with you there on that. No, Alex is great at limited and at Magic in general. So
Yeah. So we knew the top card of our deck thanks to the Deem
Unfathomable, I believe.
Infallible, I think.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yes, anyway, we knew the top card of our library thanks to that card from Aiden, so we know that we get to put this Luxodon back into play. We're going to go ahead and pull up a set list so that we can actually see cards.
Deem Inferior. We were both
Yeah, there you
wrong.
go. Deem something with an I. We were only mostly wrong.
That's fair.
Okay. We got a Serum Visionary off of our land drop for turn thanks to the 7-5. That's a pretty good land for turn.
Which land? I'm sorry.
Because of the 7-5's trigger, we played our land for turn and revealed a Serum Visionary,
Oh,
which
yeah.
just lets us dig even deeper.
Yeah. That
That 7-5 is 5 mana.
7/5 is gross.
That is a 5 mana common card. Uncommon card?
I'm about to find out because I am super curious. I want to say that is an uncommon,
My
but
God.
I do not know, and it's already got another.
Scryfall is your friend, Lewis. Well, there's a breaker.
You gain a lot of life.
So if
a lot
Alex
of life.
wasn't already out of closing out this game, he certainly is now.
Certainly is now
Kill me or bust
indeed.
time.
Yeah, so Alex saying it's kill me or bust time. So definitely leads me to believe this might be at Aiden's last turn. So doing all this, drawing extra cards, gaining a bunch of life, none of this actually matters towards a victory.
You're at 33.
Unfortunately, a draw in round 1, not ideal for either player, but it's kind of what Alex was forced to play to.
Territory Color is an uncommon.
Okay.
But it is 5 mana, 7/5, with a ridiculous ability.
A second Deem Inferior on the cave this time. But it looks like Alex just kind of has enough blockers here that he's not really... That card just came into play, yeah. So, in, chump, chump.
Oh, wait, no, I can't, yeah.
Annihilator, who cares?
I have Vigilance.
Yep, things are dead. Go to, presumably, turn 5. Shake hands.
Annihilator.
Aiden
sacrifice a
looking
land
through
or
his whole
something.
grip of cards thanks to drawing an extra 3 cards. Yup. Yeah, so the screen freezing here because they're stuck in the game. It does look like Aiden was pretty likely to close that one out, but, Alex playing to the timed round. It is what it is.
Yeah,
So-
good. When your opponent goes to 32 and you're at 4, there's really not much you can really do in that situation.
Yeah, but we are playing for points for our league and an invite to an invitational, so every point actually does matter. So
true.
no,
1
No-
is better than 0.
exactly, no real shade towards keeping that extra point to himself. But let's get into round 2. So this round we have Michael Peditto versus James Murphy. Michael recently back from Pennsylvania, lived here for a while, moved to Pennsylvania, and is recently back. Another grinder, as it were. Travels to RCQs, plays a lot of Magic, a lot of high-level Magic.
Likes playing Modern and Legacy.
Yeah, definitely prefers Legacy. But, you know, we'll catch him in our drafts every now and again.
He got to play the...
This is a really nice 1-drop that makes energy into Amped Raptor, which gets us a free 3-drop off the top of our deck. This is a very good start from Michael.
Yeah, the energy equipment into Raptor into Hunger does something, make a 1/1.
Yeah, this is, again, a very good start. So James, on the other hand, over here playing Naya, so I think he was... I asked him about this after the event, and I believe he said he was a full-on 3-color deck, so... this format having plenty of mana fixing, so being a solidified 3-color deck, not as difficult in this format as it is in several draft formats.
No, not at all. The mana fixing in this set is tremendous.
Yeah, so what kind of examples do we have of, like, some of this powerful mana fixing, would you say?
The landscapes, as you can see, one was used to fetch that forest, turn 1 for James there. The uncommon I think they are uncommon. The multicolored hybrid spells, the MDFCs, that just come into play tapped and tapped for 2 colors.
Absolutely.
Those are great.
Both fixing your mana and being powerful spells later in the game.
Exactly. Here, this game
No
is
respect
just
for the 1/4 in with the Raptor.
off.
Looks like James doesn't want to risk his mana here. No blocks. So.
Super aggressive start here by
Yeah.
Peditto, by the way.
Yeah, Mike here either, you know, representing some kind of a trick, attacking a 2/1 and 2 1/1s into a 1/4. Understandably, James being behind on board and probably, I assume, needing that mana very badly,
Right.
not willing to risk his creature in combat there.
Yeah, I would say right now it's probably too early to chump, perhaps. But
yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
potentially chump or eat a creature. With the Hunger Tide Rises going off next turn to tutor,
I really
don't
feel
know,
like I kind
eating
of
a
want to eat
creature
one of those
or
1/1s.
trading with a spell. Like, I think it probably would have made sense to block, but
But maybe.
we'll see how it works out for him.
I think if it's me, I'm blocking one of those 1/1s. Like, the only thing in the format that I can think of off the top of my head for a 1/1 to clear a 1/4 is the +3/+2 with Split Second. The split card, it's kind of in a braid, giant growth split card, sort
There's
of.
the -3/-3 Wither and Bloom in black that would work.
Is that a
as
swamp?
well?
That is a swamp. You're right. Yeah, that card's worth considering. I didn't even see the swamp there.
3-drop or less.
Yeah. So that would work.
Yeah, that definitely makes the no
There's
block
the
maybe better.
+3/+2 in red. That's a modal spell that
Yes.
also destroys an artifact. I don't know if
That's the one I was talking about,
okay.
yeah. Oh, we're also just tutoring up Aurelia with the Hunger Tide Rises.
Yup.
That's, I will trade 3 bugs for Aurelia.
I will also trade 3 bugs for Aurelia. Yeah.
Yeah, so. Okay, alright, so yeah, Mike has a very nice aggressive deck here. And again, we are just attacking into everything here. There's a 6 on James's side. I believe that's a 2/4, and then the 1/4 with the Disciple of Ronus. Jeez. But yeah, Mike just in for a lot of damage here.
5, 8, 10. Right.
I think it's 9. I believe this is the black card is a 2/3 base that
Okay,
connives.
it's only 2, 3. Okay, so 4, 7, 9. Yeah.
So I guess we're about to find out what trick Mike was holding on to, since we are getting the blocks this turn. So we have declared blocks, Mike reading 6. Notably,
Also, it wasn't mentioned previously, Peditto does not read cards.
true enough, but, you know, I'm trying not to call him out.
Yeah, well, that's my job.
Fair enough. So you were correct about the Wither and Bloom. So my block on a bug would have cost me my Disciple last turn. So
It's the 2 mana 1/3 that makes 2 energy when it comes into play. Lately, it bounced off of 6,
yeah.
and
Notably, that does mean we get to keep the 6.
James
so
took some damage.
I don't know if we have any lands that we want to discard to get that retrace going with the 6. But if the game does go for a while, not that it looks like Mike has any interest in that.
Also, I don't think the 6 can even attack to be able to trigger to mill anything.
No, but we can always rebuy the Disciple. We can rebuy something. Just another 4 toughness blocker isn't the worst.
Oh.
Well,
He's giving it flying right now.
Yep. And attacking? Oh, okay. This is very aggressive. Are we dead on board?
Yeah. Yeah, we are potentially dead on the crackback. However,
Okay, we have 2 mana up.
I was about to say James does have mana available and cards in hand, but
2, 3. All right, we get a land back. So not.
One of the 3, these 3. No, the planes.
Peditto actually bothering to read this time. Good job.
I was just gonna leave it there so we
All right.
wait. Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's how
So we're just having a discussion among the players about how to represent flying counter and leaving cards on the battlefield and all that. Everything getting cleaned up. The counter is on the creature.
Bye-bye, Daddy.
All right. So, yeah. So moving past all of that, we had no follow-up. We didn't play the land. We didn't play another blocker. Pretty sure we just go to combat here, right? Attack with everything.
yeah.
Trigger
'Cause,
the thing.
One removal spell
connive
doesn't
this
even.
thing. Pay some energy and give something menace just for kicks. Okay. Well, the words "that's game" have come out of James's mouth, so I think we're just counting. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, maybe not the best attack with that 6 that turn. But
To be fair, I don't think Sitz was doing anything on blocks anyway.
also
so-
wasn't a tremendous blocker on that
No.
board in particular.
No.
That's very, very true. Yeah, if Mike goes to combat that turn and the 6 is back to block, we can still just give the Raptor +1/+0 and Menace. Both of the other creatures, Lelia and the Connive black creature, were big enough to run right through the 6 anyway.
It's true. The connive creature also has menace on its own, so it's
Oh,
not necessary
sure.
to.
Yeah, why wouldn't it have Menace? Just keywords everywhere.
Yup. So 4 mana 2/3 with menace that ETBs connives, and when it attacks, also does the same.
All right, so Mike looking like he mulliganed once this game.
My hand is not nearly as good as one.
Did we draw for turn? Did Mike just draw for his first turn?
No, James went first.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see that land. I guess bottom corner, not where I put my lands. Wasn't even looking.
Yeah, no worries. James played the mountain turn 1.
Okay. This is probably a better start, I would say, from James. Just a couple bodies.
I'm guessing that's a forest that was just played because this looks up to be an Eldrazi repurposer, which
Yeah.
does in fact cost green, but
Oh, there's forest right there. There's a forest.
oh, it's a forest. Okay, I thought that was a mountain. That card looks red to me. Sorry,
Are we having a flashback to Kamigawa's swamps?
I guess so.
Forest,
Okay,
forest,
all right,
plains.
all right.
There's no mountains here.
That's a
It
plains.
says plains.
Oh, yeah, I can't make out what those lands are.
Lewis picking on Michael for not reading, and then subsequently not
Look,
reading.
I can't read the words on that card. I'm sorry.
Hey, there's the
There's a
mountain.
mountain. Okay, all right.
Does that one look like a swamp while we're at it?
No, it looks like an island.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
That card's blue. What do you want from me?
All right, tropical island. Then.
That is the bluest mountain I've ever seen.
Lewis showing his bias against the Ixalan full art lands. Not much I can say about that.
However, Peditto's over here with some beautiful lands that you can actually see.
You say that. I couldn't tell there was a swamp there, so... last
Apparently.
game. Unfortunately, this video... Oh, yep, well,
Yeah.
wonderful.
That fried.
So, yeah.
We're on to me versus Peditto.
All right, so fair enough. So if anybody read that note at the bottom while it was happening, while I forgot that happened, my video got messed up, so I lost the remainder of that game. Peditto did win that match 2-0, so however that played out was in his favor. Though I will say again that James off to a better start that game than he was the first, and Mike not off to as blistering a start as he was in the first.
That is very true. And this game's going to upset me because I remember it. I'm actually playing this game. But, let's see what actually happens.
Fair enough. So, Golgari in this format. I've only drafted this deck one time so far. And I thought I had a pretty sweet version, but it is literally the only losing record that I've got in this format so far. I don't know if it's the color combination, or if maybe I was a little unlucky, or maybe I overvalued some cards. All of those are possible.
This was pre-release, so the format was like super brand new.
Oh, absolutely.
So I want to say on this, I pack one, pick one. The 2 mana, whenever a creature gets a +1/+1 counter, put an additional +1/+1 counter.
Sure, that's the Wombat, I think?
Yeah, the Cursed Wombat.
Yeah.
And also pack one, pick two, a Cursed Wombat.
Sure, that would certainly
So,
move me into
like,
this direction.
Yeah, so I just kind of went into, like, I'm just going to play Golgari, what was the word you said earlier? +1
Modified?
counter, modified. Yeah.
Yeah.
Modified Golgari basically is what I was
do
doing.
like this little bit of a synergy here. You got to attack for 3. Looks like you had no action. So because it was your main phase and you had already drawn your card for turn, you got to sacrifice the 3/3 for 2 additional cards, which then draws you your 3rd card, re-triggering the enchantment to remake the 3/3 that you sacrificed. So functionally just 2 mana, draw 3.
Yep.
Really, really nice little synergy there.
Yep. Got in 3 points of damage.
And then cast a better divination.
Better divinations because it was 2 mana.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah, 2 mana divination. Print divination at 2. I'll play it.
Look, I had to sacrifice a creature.
No, you
okay?
didn't.
Well, you're not wrong. I don't know what to say here.
Even David Vigilance. What are we talking about?
That
Aha.
is the 4 mana 2/1.
Yeah, that card it might be in competition for like one of the best black commons in the set.
Affinity for artifacts.
Card is very, very powerful. So, Mike, again, doing a very good job of going wide. Seems like he's empty-handed at this point, but being able to pressure very well, having dealt with your 3/3,
Yeah.
and no cards in hand, so you have free reign to draw cards with the flyer there, but Mike has a pretty wide board that you're going to have to deal with, huh? Okay. That's the Black Slith, I believe. Okay, alright, so second discard bird.
Yeah, that is the Slith. The 2 mana 1/1 that whenever it attacks or whenever it deals damage puts a +1/+1 counter and then removes a counter.
And steals a counter, yeah. Okay, so we empty-handed Mike. We got to draw a card off of our bird. We got to make it only cost 2 because of affinity. All not a bad place to be. Picking up and reading the Hungertide Rises.
First time seeing the card.
Yeah, so we're looking for a 3-drop again, I believe. We sacrificed 2 bugs and a conduit bug, so 3 bugs.
Want to say he goes and just grabs Lelia again.
Yeah,
but I
Lelia
could be wrong,
seems
but
like
I'm pretty
the
sure that's what
grab out of
happens.
his deck. We've seen it a couple games now. Lelia has been quite good coming out of his deck. And even now, like, if he if he attacks with it, you have to trade off both of your creatures for it, and that still leaves you dealing with the connive creature.
Okay, so he didn't
Okay.
get Lelia. He got the...
The ooze.
Yeah.
Alright, so this creature having adapt, and I does something when you adapt it.
Whenever you attack, it gets to put a
Right.
+1 counter on
A
target.
modified creature.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
target modified creature.
Okay,
And
so
then it adapts 2, I believe.
so Mike really trying to stay aggressive here.
It does.
Which I also have one of those in my deck.
Sure. But yeah, Mike definitely trying to stay aggressive here. No interest in leaving back his larger creature to block. You have 2 flyers anyway. It's not a race he'll win if he's trying to block. And even though you have your up cards, he does seem to have the bigger board presence.
Yeah, because that 3 mana 3/3, I want to say, is what
Sure.
it is, becomes a 5/5. I think it's an adapt 2 for 4 mana, if I recall correctly. So,
Sure.
He does definitely have the bigger creatures in play currently,
Yeah.
and had more of an aggressive start.
Yeah, it wasn't tremendously aggressive, but applied enough pressure to get some chip shots in. You know, this wasn't the kind of start like he had against James, where he just went 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, all on turn 2.
Right, which I don't believe my deck is even remotely set up to combat, but we'll see how I fare here. The Expanding Ooze is a 3 mana 3/3. It is only an adapt 1 though, so my
Okay.
apologies. I
No
was
worries.
mistaken. But yeah, whenever it attacks, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on a target modified creature you control.
Sure. So you stole his energy here. Can you give me an idea why you might have gone for the energy rather than the +1/+1 counter?
The creature connives, like he gets to put a +1/+1 counter on it basically whenever, anytime. So I just didn't know what his deck used energy for.
Fair enough.
And stealing the counter off of the creature that connives didn't seem that relevant to me.
Okay.
And I wanted to kill the ooze.
Yeah.
However, I guess you do have to discard a non-land spell, so to grow. So I could have taken the counter off of the modified creature or the connive creature.
Yeah, it leaves. If you get the counter off of it, it means that you have the ability to double block to trade. Right now it's a 4/5, so like it has menace. You have to double block if you're gonna block, and you don't even get the trade off of it at that point. That I believe is the quest that reanimates.
That is correct.
Yeah. So, if you landfall, you get some counters on the quest, which just makes the activation cost for the reanimate cheaper, but realistically, Mike having 5 lands in play already, 1 land and he gets the reanimate regardless. Is that an Antuku on the bird?
Yes.
Oh, that's an engine.
Yeah. Yep.
And now you get to strip down the counter. Now you have the ability to block pretty much freely because you're making token copies of your guy. Yeah, all of this looks pretty spectacular
Yeah,
from your side at this point. Mike seemingly out of gas here.
Definitely didn't want to. I guess I could have attacked with the 2/1 that has the Nantuko on it, but just I don't know now. Looking at this video, don't know why I didn't. But
You're pretty far ahead this game. Like, I appreciate and respect that maybe getting in for the extra 3 damage certainly matters. Not quite cutting the clock in half if you get 3 damage in, but... So I'm not sure there's much difference either way, unless you wanted to attack with everything. Mike triggering the quest, this costing 5 instead of 6. But what are we rebuying?
gets back.
Looks like he discarded a card this turn to get his counter back. And it looks like he's rebuying the same thing he discarded.
I think it's an elk. I think it's the bestow elk.
Okay.
I think is what that is.
It's certainly a bestow card. You might be right. I'm not clear on what that card is, but that's okay. Once again, you hit your land drop, you make a bird, you draw a card because Mike is empty-handed. This is a pretty powerful engine. Yeah, on top of that, it was a glorified fetch land, so you get to do that twice this turn.
Do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Mike is just kind of realizing that the writing's on the wall this time. Starting to fiddle with his graveyard like he's about to pick it up. That's
drew
true.
3 cards to make
you
a 3/3.
also make a 3/3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
okay.
then
And
he-
yeah, Mike
yeah.
is off it at that point. Makes sense to me. That was a really good. That was a really grindy engine you have there.
Yeah. I want to say the Nantuko was passed to me. I don't remember exactly which pick it was, but that card, even if you don't have the mana to be able to activate to copy the creature that you're playing, that you put it on, just made so many tokens.
Yeah.
It's just such a good card.
Yeah, looking forward to playing that card in some actual proper modern.
It seems like it would be kind of gross in Yawgmoth. I don't know if Yawgmoth wants it, but to me, for some reason, I feel like it would be insane in that deck.
Maybe. So, really what we're looking at, because Yawgmoth tends to play pretty land light, the Nadu decks are
Yeah,
playing
of
that
course.
card,
Yeah.
just making nigh infinite bodies. Mike getting a little unlucky and flipping a removal spell off his Raptor this time instead of something proactive. But at the end of the day, we still just have a bunch of energy and a 2/1 with first strike.
I mean, I did ask him if he wanted to kill his own creature.
That's true. That would have been a legal target.
A legal play.
The other place the Nantuku is, I think, going to shine in Modern
And
is...
here I just get absolutely rocked by Lelia and equipped the artifact to the Raptor, and I'm just taking like 7 damage
7?
on turn 3.
That's a lot of damage on turn 3.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, but
That's
it's
okay.
just I'm like this game. 7 damage on turn 3, and there's really nothing that I can do. Like this is turn 3. I was on the draw. Like
Yeah.
there's
There's
my
a wombat.
there's my wombat. My pack one, pick one.
Yeah.
It's just going
Anyway,
to
kill you with this Raptor in this
yeah,
Lelia.
basically. That Raptor's got first strike. Lelia just keeps getting
look,
bigger. There's
a kill
just-
spell.
Yeah, and a removal spell. Yeah, and I'm dead on turn 4. Yay! Modern Horizons 3 limited formats die on turn 4.
I don't think you were actually dead.
Sure. I was not lethal dead,
Yeah,
but I was dead the next turn.
early concession.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% early concession.
So anyway, the Nantuku.
Yeah, the Nezuko.
The other place that it's going to show up is in some Amulet Titan builds. The card goes infinite with a Dryad of the Elysian Grove
Yeah.
with a bounce land and an amulet.
Yep, which I have seen. Well, so it's yes, but unless like you have a way to give haste,
Correct.
It's like,
Yeah, Well, the other thing is if if you find a Valakut, or if you have a Valakut, it's infinite, and you just bolt them to death.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have a Valakut, you present infinite Dryads and tell them to kill you right now.
Yeah. Or wipe the board.
Or
Yeah.
kill all of them.
Yeah.
Kill all of these men.
Yep.
Alternatively, you can always Dentuko Primeval Titan, which goes real hard.
That's cute. That's, especially with Amulet in play.
Yeah.
As long as
You're just going to put every land in your deck into play.
Yeah, as long as one of them is a green source that you fetch, that you get every time, you can stack the trigger to where you can just make another copy every time, right?
You get to do a lot of very silly things.
That's insane.
One of the things that you can do with it too is get Mycosynth Gardens to be copying amulets to make sure that one green source pays for multiple Dryad or Netsuku triggers.
Here's another game where just getting destroyed by Lelia.
That is. Was that Raptor into the Battlecry guy into Lelia?
So I believe so. Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, Raptor into the Battlecry guy. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the kind of starts that make like some of these grindy mid-range decks just feel silly.
Yeah.
Like, what do you even do about this?
You
like,
die
obviously, yeah, in this case, you were on the play, you don't have your third land, you don't have a black source, period?
No, doesn't look like it, yeah.
Okay. And is that a very sad Hydra?
It is. It was a 1/2.
We were just hoping to buy a turn
something,
or something.
I believe, I think is what it was, and then Lelia came down, and it's just like, well, this doesn't even help. I'm trying to figure out if I can even survive, and I want to say if I don't give spoilers, so I'm not going to do it, but...
Hey, Landfall, that's Battlecry.
Okay, I have something.
Yeah, but yeah. So... You kill the Battlecry card, which is functionally killing 4 power, which is fine. Could you have killed the Lelia here? If you kill the Lelia, you're killing 5 power? I think you're actually better off killing the Lelia.
1, 2...
Yeah, I think you're better off killing the Lelia here.
Probably I'm better off killing the Lelia.
Like, it turns out...
In hindsight,
yeah, I'm not going to say that, like, this game is going to go well either way, but I think you kill the Lelia there. The Lelia was a 3/3 at the time.
Yeah.
So, if you punch the Lelia, it dies, which also removes a power from Battlecry, because they lose that power. And then your Hydra can block the Battlecry creature and survive, because it got +2/+2 until end of turn.
It's true. Or it could have just blocked the Raptor.
No, you block the Battlecry, right? Because that's...
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, you take 3, you go to 1, but you're doing that either way.
It's so good. Especially if you can get the,
Like, you went to 1 that turn anyway.
You know,
Or maybe
3,
went to
4,
2.
And it's only a 2/2 because
But you
it
keep
doesn't
your
get
Hydra,
the Battlecry.
and then the Raptor is just a 2/1.
Yeah.
Like,
I still
any
have it.
creature with 3 toughness can deal with the Raptor at that point.
It's true.
Anyway, regardless, congratulations to Mike for winning this pod and Malachi for winning the other pod that was off camera. And yeah, that was our first of several Modern Horizons 3 drafts that hopefully we'll be getting to pretty soon.
Being a pre-releasing, being new cards, it's
Oh, absolutely.
difficult to know. Well, yeah, going back, looking at that in hindsight, I would have been able to survive for another turn. But
Yeah.
then he threw out like another menace creature
Right.
there at the end. So either way, Peditto's deck was kind of gross.
It was very good.
And getting Lelia and drawing Lelia in most of the games that...
Or tutoring for Lelia
or
onto the
tutoring
battlefield
Lelia.
seems pretty okay.
Having Lelia in play in most of the games that Peditto won seems like Lelia is a really good limited card.
If
as,
Vintage
we
Cube
can
has
see,
taught me
yeah,
anything,
exactly.
it's Lelia kills people.
But yeah, that is it for our pre-release Modern Horizons 3 draft number 1.
Yeah, first of several. But anyway, Lewis, thanks for joining me. Hope everybody enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye!